I'm going to take a moment to absorb the frequency. I hope you come here protected because I'm well protected. So all vampires better find somewhere else. But everybody else, come on in. And come on in bringing your own energy. You hear me? Absorb this purifying space. Allow yourself to hear yourself think in the quietude of yourself. Ain't nothing more beautiful than that. Feel the peace. Feel the purity. Feel the love. Feel the patience. Feel the happiness. Feel the truth. Because you can feel the truth. Feel the honor. Feel the integrity. Feel the knowledge. It's a frequency. Feel the wisdom. Feel the understanding. Use your emotional intelligence. Upgrade your spiritual strength. You gotta feel it. Feel the integrity. Build your character. Yes. Stillness and abundance, love and light, health and wholeness. Stillness and abundance, love and light, health and wholeness. Stillness and abundance, love and light, health and wholeness to the cosmic consciousness, soul control, family, and soul tribe. I hope everybody's feeling good for no reason at all, because feeling good is feeling God. Radiating, operating, emanating, vibrating, exuding, and operating in the highest version and the best version of your current self. You hear me? Because I am. My name is Saul. To those of you who are new, welcome. To the family and soul tribe, welcome back. But to those of you who are new, welcome. I'm known as Saul. I'm here to help us recognize through all the ways and all the things that I say, that I wear, and that I do while we here, why it's important to heal, why it's important to grow, why it's important to mature, amongst a whole bunch of other things. You hear me? And without rambling too much, over here, truth don't take no sides. Truth just tell it how it is. And like anything that need to be said, it just needs somebody to tell it and tell it like it is. You hear me? Or as we know it. And that ain't gonna resonate for everybody the same way. You hear me? Other than that, I hope everybody feeling good for no reason at all. Radiating, vibrating, operating, emanating in the high version of yourself. I want to take a moment to energetically and virtually give y'all flowers. Give y'all some acknowledgement. I want to give y'all flowers. I see y'all. You hear me? Consistency. Consistency. And consistency is key. For those of you who do, it's for you. You hear me? I'll give y'all flowers. You heard? Not that y'all should need me to not that y'all should need me to recognize y'all for how y'all show up if you showing up. And if you showing up, that means you doing some work. And if you keep coming back, that means you doing some work because you showing up. You hear me? If you don't listen, you're gonna miss it. You heard? We're gonna do a reading today. But before I begin, I want to say, when it comes to legacy and what type of legacy we will leave behind, according to the legacy, the type of legacies that have already been left behind. They need to be upgraded before a lot of us can even think about establishing something different, something better, it's something needed. Let's say it like that. And I say that in reflection of what I will be reading tonight from the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary. Charles H. Fillmore. I don't get no check for promoting this book, but it's a good book to have. It's a good investment into the mind and the spirit and soul of somebody out there. So when I do that, I'm doing it for a reason. It's a good book to have, especially when we're dealing with consciousness and different archetypes of consciousness, which the Bible, if you read the regular Bible is just a book of archetypes. Whether the story's true, whether the people was here or not, none of that matters. If we pay attention to what we read, and when we read, and how we read, we start seeing different types of characteristics of consciousness. So with this Metaphysical Bible Dictionary, it just take you right to this place. It don't deal with no narratives or none of that. It take you right into the realm of consciousness that deal with divine mind and our place in it. You hear me? But tonight we will be reading from Jacob. Since we just finished off with Joseph, I was led to go back to Jacob. So we're gonna walk through that. And as always, you know, I give my insights as I'm led to. And happy full moon, everybody. Happy full snow moon at that. That thing beautiful and big out there, you hear me? Shooting off a lot of energy. So let's make use of it the best way we can. You hear me? But we're gonna be reading from Jacob from the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary as follows. Jacob is Hebrew, some know it as Yaqub, and so forth and so on, depending on the language, you hear me? But Jacob comes from the Hebrew, meaning hill catcher, liar in wait, supplanter, leaving behind, bringing to an end, recompensing, and rewarding. The younger of the twins of Isaac and Rebekah, but the one who obtained the birthright. The one who obtained the birthright. And I repeat, the one who obtained the birthright, but was a twin, but it was the one that obtained the birthright. Genesis 25, verse 26 through 34, and chapter 27, verse 11, to end the book of Genesis. The metaphysical meaning of Jacob reads as follows. Metaphysically, Jacob and Esau, or the twins, or let me see, I got a perfect example for it. Y'all give me a minute, because it just came to my mind. Got so much thing going on right here. Jacob and Esau, y'all. Jacob and Esau represent the mental and the animal consciousness within each of us. Jacob and Esau, it's a fine illustration. Thank you, Spirit, for giving it to me. Esau, the hairy man, typifies the animal which comes first into expression. Most of the human family let him rule in consciousness, the animal nature. But in the line of human unfoldment, this man of nature, Esau, must be supplanted or left behind, let go. Because we don't want to stay down there. If you're down there, you don't want to stay down there, so you might have to let Esau go. You hear me? And let a higher type, come in. You hear me? Your higher self come in, called Jacob, the supplanter, the mentality or understanding. Jacob also represents an idea of the I am identity, through which the faculties of the mind receive their original inspirations. Jacob had 12 sons. The zodiac, 12 signs. to each of whom he gave an office, and each of whom he blessed or inspired with his spiritual wisdom. Each zodiac represents an office. That's why I'm just using the comparative. Walk with me. The Bible narrative about Jacob and Esau has always been read historically, and theologians have had trouble trying to excuse Jacob and Rebekah for the apparent duplicity that they perpetuated upon Esau. When read in the light of spiritual understanding, or considered as part of the history of the unfoldment of the individual soul, the incident loses its aspect of duplicity. I want to repeat that. When read in the light, or when we see things in the light of spiritual understanding, or consider it as a part of the history of unfoldment, even our experiences, when we see our experiences as a part of our history of unfoldment, the individual of our individual soul, the incident loses its aspect of duplicity, and we find that it is a description of the subtle working of the soul and spiritual evolution. That's why both of them holding the scepter. Both of them holding a scepter. Both of them holding a scepter. We find that it is a description of the subtle working of the soul and spiritual evolution under the guidance of the divine mind. The soul is progressive. That means nothing is ever still. You know, I'm sitting here, but mind is moving, energy is moving, thought is moving. The soul is progressive. We must go forward. The soul must meet and overcome its limitations. Esau was a hunter. He finds his pleasure in the realm of animal forces. The cravings of the lower nature are in the ascendancy. Esau gave his birthright to appease his hunger. Man rather lose his soul for $1. See, the cravings of the lower nature are in the ascendancy, and Esau gave his birthright to appease his hunger. The red pottage mentioned in the scripture symbology refers to the life substance of the body. If you remember the story of the Jungle Book, those who was after Mowgli, they referred to it as when they wanted the life force in him, the snake, Shere Khan. It was after the life force in Mowgli, but they referred to it was something they referred to there that with the red man root or something like that, which made me think what the red pottage symbolizes: the root, the lower nature, the lower factor, the lower chakra, the first chakra, the root chakra. Survival, always in survival mode, to do anything to anybody to get it. That's Esau. The natural man is first in man's evolution. First that which is natural, then that which is spiritual. We spiritual beings having a physical experience, but within this physical experience, we don't come into contact with the spiritual being that we are until later on, going through physical things, physical experiences and circumstances. First that which is natural, then that which is spiritual. That's what that means, says Paul. We all agree that a strong body is required to express a strong mind. We all agree that a strong body is required to express a strong mind. That is the divine plan. The men of the new race will have robust bodies. They will not be weaklings mentally or physically. Healing of the body is fundamental in the outworking of God's perfect man idea. Healing of the body is fundamental in the outworking, the unfoldment of God's perfect man idea. The natural man is not wise. The natural man is not wise. Esau was a hunter, and he loved sport better than spirit. And y'all know some people like that. They love the things of the world more, things that seen more than the things of the unseen, meaning things of the world more than the things of the spirit. I know a few. You hear me? And at one time, I was one. He was not seeking development through soul culture, and in order to carry forward the whole man, wholeness, it was necessary to supplant and suppress him. This is the meaning of deception by Jacob and Rebekah. The mental must gain the supremacy, and the physical must lose prominence. This is what Jacob and Rebekah did. They got Isaac, or I am, to acknowledge the mind as first in consciousness. Jacob went to another country, which represents apparent separation. An explanation of Genesis 28:10 through 22 is as follows. Jacob, the mental, went toward Haran, the high place. The mind enters a higher state of consciousness. At a certain place in consciousness, the understanding is unillumined. One of the stones of the place that Jacob put under his head represents the contact of understanding with material conditions. The latter, which we just put in if you watched yesterday's video, the ladder was the emoji. The latter represents step by step realizations of truth. These pure thoughts, or these pure angles or angels of God ascend and descend in consciousness. Jehovah, the I am, verse 13 and 14, occupies the highest place in consciousness. Allah, whatever you know it as, whatever you know the divine source as, to you. We ain't gonna argue about that, you hear me? But that's what's supposed to occupy the highest place in your consciousness. The spiritualized thoughts of the mind become the seed and bless all of the earth. Body consciousness. Mind. And it made me think of a song. Mind tricks the body, body thinks the mind is crazy. I think that's Q-Tip or somebody like that. But anyway, we're going to proceed. The Lord is constantly in our midst, and we must eventually come into divine consciousness. I ain't going to act like I just ain't read that. The Lord, God, the Most High, is constantly in our midst, even when we don't recognize it. And we must eventually come into divine consciousness. The mind is startled when it discovers God to be an omnipresent principle. In verse 17 is represented the realization that the body or the house is the temple of God, and that the mind is the gate to heaven, to harmony. And harmony is heaven. I was saying what I say, I am the essence of almightiness, and my environment is God. Well, what I just read made me reflect upon that. In the light of understanding, the morning, verse 18, the things that have been or are stepping stones become holy, and we anoint them with oil, which is love, joy, gladness, peace, all those type of attributes, all those type of affirmations are the oil, you know, to keep your house built up. Beth El signifies house of God. Luz means separation. That which has seemed separate and apart is brought into unity. Verse 20 through 22 represent the first attempt of the enlightened mind to covenant with God and trust Spirit for all things. Keeping the law of giving and receiving. Reciprocity is recognized as a step in spiritual development. You hear me? Keeping the law of giving and receiving is recognized as a step in spiritual development. Taking a wife symbolizes a unification of the I am with the affections. Jacob was told to go to Padan Aram, meaning tableland, to the house of Bethuel, meaning unity with God, and take a wife from the daughters of Laban, white, pure, shining, reflections of spirit. Genesis 28, verse 2 through 7. This points the way to a unification with the love principle in its higher aspects. Exalted ideas, divine aspirations, and pure motives. I'm dropping keys on us on how to do it. Exalted ideas, divine aspirations, and pure motives are here designated as necessary to the union with the soul that the I am is about to make. In Genesis 33, 1 through 15, we read of the reunion of Jacob and Esau. Because now both of them, the lower self been brought up with the higher self so they can stand and face each other in balance. It ain't no opposition. In Genesis 33, 1 through 15, we read of the reunion of Jacob and Esau. In the first and second verses, Jacob, the mental, prepares to unite with Esau, the physical, body and mind. Mind and body must be joined before the divine law can be fulfilled. I'm going to repeat that for those who missed it. Mind and body must be joined before divine law can be fulfilled. That's why I ain't going to go there. Verses 3 and 4. The mind must be unified with the body and all the 7 natural faculties, from the root to the crown. The mind must be unified with the body in all the 7 natural faculties. When the union between mind and body takes place, a humility born under surrender of the self comes into expression. When the union between mind and body takes place, a humility born of surrender of the self comes into expression. Verses 5 through 7. The women and the children here represent the accumulations of the mind. Verses 8 and 9. The mind is willing to share its accumulations, but the body, or Esau, cannot receive the gift until it has been uplifted. In verses 10 and 11, we find that after mind and body are reconciled and adjusted, they share alike. They share alike. They share alike the gifts of spirit. Verse 12, Jacob, the mind, should go before and direct the body. Mind should direct the body, not body direct the mind. I don't know who needed to hear that. The children in verse 13 and the young animals in the flocks and herds symbolizes new ideas established in consciousness. Verses 14 and 15. There is not necessarily enmity. In verses 14 and 15, there is no necessary enmity, or there ain't no beef, you see, between the higher and lower self, between the mind and the body of man, but only a difference in states of consciousness. Remember I said in the previous video, at different levels, it's different states of consciousness, depending on the experiences that we're going through when we have an experience at any time we having one. Stay with me. In verses 14 and 15, there is not necessarily enmity between the mind and the body of man. It just looked like it, but only a difference in states of consciousness. The body becomes an obedient servant of the mind when the two are unified in divine mind. Two become one, and that's the true marriage. You know, the best. That's why I say things like the best relationship that we can have is the relationship that we have with ourselves. Any type of relationship or relation that we have with anybody outside ourselves gonna either be a complementary reflection, you see, or a combative replay. Whatever the case, pay attention to your experiences, because your experiences will let you know. You hear me? But that's the true marriage. Anything else, like I say, should complement and reflect that relationship that you have with yourself, you know. I am one with almightiness. My environment is God. I'm happy to be me, myself, for now. And that completes the reading for the night, family. Family and Soul Tribe, y'all know what to do. New subscribers. I do a raffle at the end of the month. I know it sounds repetitive, but repetitive is learning. You hear me? If you watch the video, place the emoji, which is going to be an owl tonight. We're going to put an owl in the comment section, the wise owl. You hear me? And it's simple as that to be submitted for the end of the month raffle. We got a few days to go. Other than that, feel good for no reason at all, because feeling good is feeling God. And one more time, I'm going to extend my flowers to y'all. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for the shares. Thanks for the new subscribers. Thanks for those who comment. Thanks for those who send me salutations of peace, love, and light. May favor be upon y'all too. Thanks for those who donate. Thanks for those who send love offers. I appreciate it all. Thanks for y'all who make purchases. Thanks for y'all who just give y'all time, energy, and effort. You hear me? To that, because it's for you, it's not for me. You hear me? And I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all. And I appreciate y'all so much. You heard? My name is Sawu. Love.